Welcome back everyone to the Meticulous Mommy channel. Thank you for coming back to see my MegaPlanner cover video tutorial. So I wanted to start off by showing you guys what it is that I'm using. I have fabric, I have the pieces from the composition notebook I had. The fabric is 12 inches by 42 inches, and it's going to be cut down a little bit here and there because the sizes vary depending on the fabric. Simply because this one is thick, I used a lot of fabric. Now I'm using the flap, which is a plastic vinyl material that came from the composition notebooks that I used simply for my MegaPlanner project, which I will have a link down below for you to see how I used to make my MegaPlanners. Now you can use tacky glue, hot glue, or fabric glue, whichever glue you like, and it will work just fine, but all you have to do is use the glue on the edge of the fabric and roll the fabric over so that you get a clean edge. And before you do that, of course, you want to flap in the dog ears or the corners of the fabric. Now, like I said, I just used the cover of the composition notebooks that I use, which for my usual planners, my own personal ones, I usually use about 4 to 5, usually to 6 notebooks for my MegaPlanner, but this one is my mini MegaPlanner, which is about 2 to 3 notebooks, but it's about a 2-inch spine. So I use the cover, I cut it down, and I use it simply to act as the backing to the sticky notes for the flap. Now, as you saw, I just flapped in the edge after gluing it down with hot glue, and then I just cover that with more hot glue, and then I flap that completely down, and it makes for the wonderful flap that is the awesome part of this cover. And then I'm using the graph paper that I've already sewn together using the C. Lemons method. You should check her out. She's really awesome. This method works very well, trust me. Now this is the time you're going to take out another piece of fabric and you're going to cut it down to these measurements, the 12 inches by 7 inches. Like I said, it also varies simply on the fabric that you're using. I'm using a very thick one, so I tried to make it just long enough so that the corners would roll in without being too much or too little for the cover size. So just remember, you can use the actual cover of the composition notebook as a guide so that you don't make it too big or too small. This is the flap that is going to hold down your book. Now once you're done with this particular piece, you're just going to go ahead and glue it down. Just to the left of this flap, we're going to be working on the spine, so don't worry about gluing that side of the flap down because that's where the book cover will actually slip in. Or the cover of the actual book, so to speak. Now remember, we're still rolling the fabric under so that it makes a really, really nice seam. So remember to glue the edge of the fabric and then fold that and then glue it down completely. But if you're using a very thick fabric, you're probably not going to want to do the fold down too much in certain places, so just be aware of that. Now, if you follow me on Instagram or on my Facebook account, you will have seen this particular planner that I made for my Etsy store. This one is not available specifically, the pattern, but I do have other patterns available on a Facebook post that I will go ahead and link down below, but it is also on my Instagram on the picture that has that particular planner. So as you can see, I'm just using it to help me to figure out where the size of the spine will be best to kind of stop and end so that I can put the elastics in. Now as you can see, I am going ahead and folding in the sides of the fabric like I did before. But when I finish folding these in, I'm going to go ahead and add in the elastics so that the planner stays in properly. This part of the film did not film, so I had to redo it. But this was me making a whole nother planner. This was my emoji one that I'm going to be doing for the regular size composition book. And I will show you what that looks like at the end, so you can see what a regular composition book looks like with this particular cover on it. And all you see here is that I am just tying a knot in a string of elastic, and I am literally just going to take it, put it inside the flap at the very top and bottom, and then I'm going to glue those down so that they do not come apart. And as you see here, I've already done that, which is where I started filming again. So sorry that happened, but what can you do? Cameras are iffy and finicky. So as far as here goes, I just did the exact same thing that I did on the other flap, or on the other side. I'm just working in reverse order. So I just took the other piece that we made before, and I'm gluing it down. And of course you'll see me here and there picking stuff off, just because those are little spider webbies and pieces of lint and stuff. But go ahead and roll the corners all the way down, because you're going to need to do this anyway, except for the corners obviously, because that is going to be where we fold them in to do the other side for where the sticky notes go. Now on this part, you want to make sure that you actually have foldability. When you're folding this, or when you're putting this particular piece in, you have to make sure that it can actually fold before you glue it, because you do not want to be stuck with a flappy folding cover and it doesn't flap or fold. So just keep that in mind and do the exact same thing you did in the very beginning, which is flap in those corners. As you can see, I'm trying to make sure that I keep the rolled in sides focused on. Just do this kind of simultaneously so that you don't get really weird corners, because as you can see, I did mess up here and there, and I did have to go back and kind of reflap them and refold here and there. But once you get it down and figured out, it's really not that difficult, and you have a really, really beautiful cover at the very end. So I am really, really happy about this project, and I hope you guys are too. This is what it looks like. I took some pictures. Obviously, the pictures aren't doing it justice, but I'm also going to be posting a few different things on my Instagram and Facebook to show you guys how these work really well. And this is my personal Mega Planner that I use. It is my super Mega Planner because it has 5 or 6 different notebooks that I used. It's also lined paper though. But I do have lined paper and graph paper. And this is the mini Mega Planner. And let me show you guys exactly what I did to jazz it up and add some really nice sticky notes and extra stuff in there. And what's really cool is you can actually use the back flaps as secretarial pockets, or just pockets in general to hold stickers. And what's more is the flap that you have in front and back, that middle area where there's just fabric, I can actually customize and add pockets or pin loops. See where that sticky note is? That's where I can add pockets. Like the Target dollar spot pockets can be put there. That depends on how you adhere them. But I'm talking about felt pockets, regular pockets, pen loops, all of that stuff. It's really, really nice to have an area where you can take notes like a boss. So thank you for watching. Stay meticulous.